What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another update of the sanctuary. I mean, Kyle, you've got a lot going on here. I mean, it's not just digging holes anymore.
No, we got more than one crew now. We got lots of guys working on this, lots of different groups. I mean, fence guys, my guys that are working on the ponds. We'll be soon to have plumbing guys in here. So we're doing pretty much, I mean, so many different things to get this project done. And what's cool, guys, is now it's getting to the point where it's week-to-week changes. So we can start showing, we can have an episode a week showing the different changes around this place. It's going that fast. So this area, as you can see here, is the new entrance of the sanctuary. So you can see over there, Ryan, if you turn over there, you can see where the perimeter fence was and where it is. So we'll have a small access gate here and then two big double gates here.
I mean, now seeing the scale of things, I mean, you essentially probably tripled the footprint of the sanctuary by adding this area and what they're going to see back over there.
We'll go over there and see how much more room we're adding, and it is a lot. So it is very exciting. And we also have another surprise as far as enclosures. We found a way, found room to add 10 more enclosures. So we kind of made it, we realized we were messing with these small enclosures here, and granted they're 40 feet by 25 feet. Now those were our small enclosures, and we're adding more to them. You know, we made them even bigger, so we realized, well, you know, these aren't small ones anymore. But we found a room behind the greenhouse that we can make probably about 10 to 12 more enclosures. That'll be small enclosures, and those small enclosures are still probably 20 feet by 20 feet. So they're still a very good size for smaller species. So now we're adding 31 new sheep pond enclosures here on top of the existing stuff.
So it's safe to say pretty much everything in the greenhouse, everything being raised up, has a brand new enclosure being built for it.
And room for more, because obviously, you know, we definitely, you know, there's a lot of zoos that you want to rehome crocodilians for new exhibits, or just, you know, they have to utilize that for other things. So that's where we come in. You know, we'll definitely have space for zoo animals. But again, we'll talk about rescues in a little bit when we go around the corner, because we essentially have this side of the property for the crocodiles. Now we'll still have probably a big alligator over there for the sanctuary purposes, well, for the tour purposes, but we'll have a rescue alligator side. So what we're doing now is we're straightening this cap, so we're getting ready to finalize these ponds here. So Christian's actually running the Kubota. He's actually kind of part-time crocodiles, part-time construction, which is awesome, because then he understands every element of the crocodile sanctuary process. So, you know, that's
hey, now what am I, chopped liver?
Your chopped liver. Yes, Ryan is also working on the construction side of it as well.
And the crocodiles.
And the crocodiles.
All right, so yeah, this is gonna be kind of interesting, because you guys will be able to see how they straighten all these up.
So what he's doing here is he's packing the sand down to hold that sheep pile back, because essentially what we're having to do is push that sheep pile towards the skid steer. So just packing it down kind of holds a little bit better. And then this line is used to get this 2x4 over here and get it completely straight. Now unfortunately we've left it sit for a couple months to finish the new 5 ponds. So we're kind of fighting that.
What's going on, guys?
Christian's
in a machine.
So yeah, so we're just finishing this out, opening it up, and I'll be able to put a cap on top. So we're shooting for mid-March to have all 31 new enclosures done. I think that's a little ambitious, but hey, if Carlos wants to shoot for 31 enclosures by mid-March, by all means, I'm more than happy. So then this area closest to the pond is where we're thinking of possibly having rescued monitor lizards. I truly want it to be a rescue area here for monitors. I don't want to just buy a croc monitor or whatnot and say, oh, well, it's a rescue because it was in a smaller enclosure. No, I mean, rescue is a rescue, you know, and obviously we'll call it as such. If it's simply a rehome, it's a rehome. If it's a rescue, it's a rescue. But the goal of this place is to just give these animals a forever home. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So then this side, so as you can see, Back there is the old perimeter fence. This was more of just a tortoise slash storage area. Well, now we are fully encompassing this area. So this probably
Yeah, they go all the way down. You can't even see the back fence, which is behind that tree line.
Probably goes 250 feet by 125 feet. So this is a massive area that we're taking into the perimeter fence as well. So what this will be is this will be a rescue alligator section. Now I'm going to kind of leave that still vague and explain that later. But we've explained it in other videos.
Yeah, we've touched on it. Anyone
new, we'll have to go back and check it out. Or we can explain it when we get closer to the construction side of this. But the guys, there's so much to going on. We got 31 enclosures. We got this whole rescue alligator section. We're gonna have a quarantine section. We're gonna have an introduction section for the crocodiles that we can fully sanitize. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that we have going on that I'm super excited about. But we can walk through here and see the whole area. So what we're doing here is we're actually gonna build the land up, make it less or more flood resistant. 8 feet above ground, 2 foot underground, because I've always been an advocate for the underground, whether it be the armadillos digging in or the crocodiles trying to dig out. Now, even though this is a perimeter fence, and most likely the crocodiles will never touch it, it's just security. And I've used the 2 foot underground for the crocodiles, for the enclosures, and I've never had an escape. Now they've dug up to it, and if there was an underground, they'd get out, but we've held them in with a 2 foot. Now all the new enclosures too are gonna have at least 2.5 foot down, which is sheep pile, but there's still that barrier between the enclosure wall and the pond. So there's always, so it's not like it's the natural ponds where they can dig up to it, the pond itself. So this used to be the old sulcata area, and we actually moved the sulcatas over to my brother Timmy's house. So we can utilize this space for exactly what we're here for, you know, rescue alligator program. So this side will be open to the tours because, again, that's a big component to what we do is rescued animals. And again, when I say rescued animals, I truly mean rescued animals. I don't want to, I'm not saying come up with a sob story as to why they're here or why we bought them. This is truly going to be an amazing project that I'm super excited about, that I've wanted to do for many years, and soon it'll come to fruition. And again, I love this part that we'll have on the tour as well to really showcase, you know, why we do it and why we're here. So the only issue with putting the fencing 2 foot underground is digging up between all the roots, all the plumbing lines that I have. So this is the water lines that run to all the crocodiles. So obviously we hit this, especially with our cold night, another cold night coming up 2 days from now. It's gonna be in the 30s again. So obviously this is a very vital part of what we're doing here. We gotta make sure we work around that, work around all the electrical. I mean, look at this. This is all the generator lines. And then we have, this is for the pump itself. And then this is more electrical lines over here. So
yeah, I mean, lines everywhere. Over here.
Even though it is a royal pain to put all this stuff underground, it is vital for my peace of mind, so I can sleep at night, because I always want to have the fencing 2 foot underground. In any case, God forbid the crocodiles get out, I mean, that's what the perimeter fences are for. So to have this 2 foot underground is vital in ensuring they stay in where they're supposed to be. Now, like I said before, we're adding 10 more enclosures, and this is where we'll be adding them. So behind this greenhouse, it's kind of just been a, you know, a hodgepodge of stuff back here, and not the prettiest area. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move this fence, extend it another 30 feet out. So we'll have all this area to add 10 more enclosures that are still well off the property line. So obviously you have to be at least, class 1 and class 2 animals have to be at least 35 feet off the property line. And we're well into that here. So we'll add the perimeter fence here, and we'll be able to utilize this for more enclosures, because we did a little bit of math last night, and with all the animals we want to move out of the greenhouse, and we're going to fill every enclosure out here. So that's why it's really beneficial to have these 10 more enclosures, as well as the quarantine slash introduction closure. And what that's going to be is that's going to be concrete. I know I'm going against my word about no concrete, but it's for a reason. So what we're going to do is we're going to coat it with liquid pond liner, make it ultra slick. But we want an area where we can quarantine the animals, or introduce the animals, see how they do, and then if all is well, then we move them into their permanent enclosures. But with the concrete and with all the the artificial stuff that we use, we can easily sanitize it down, so we can bleach it out, completely clean it, and then utilize it once again. Again, it's only for 30 to 60 days. They're not going to get osteomyelitis, especially if we put liquid pond liner on there, make it ultra slick, and have little areas for them to get out, ramps. We'll utilize that back here. So this will all be completely different soon. As you can see, you see this track right here, and ride, if you can kind of show that there.
Yeah, so guys, this is what we all did today. The whole trench that goes here, this is going to go completely back behind the excavator, all the way down to where this perimeter fence ends.
You actually see the pole down here.
Oh yeah, we can walk down there and show you guys.
So this is the old fence back there, and this is the new fence line here, so you can see how much we're adding. So essentially, guys, is that's gonna be the walking area inside the enclosure, inside the perimeter fence right now. I mean, obviously we're gonna move that fence, but this area is gonna be for the new enclosures. So we'll have a really nice big walkway back here that we'll be able to bring the public to, and well, public through, see everything, and then go around and see the rest of it. But we haven't figured out what we're gonna do with the greenhouse yet. I mean, if we're moving everything out, I mean, guys, comment below, see what you'd like to see in the greenhouse. We're thinking of possibly making it one giant enclosure for maybe Florida specs, or dividing it for smaller species. I mean, we could
Specs, you mean spectacled caiman.
Spectacled caiman, yes, sorry guys. Yes, because there is a ton of them in the wild, and right now they're just pulling them out and euthanizing them just because they are an invasive species. So if there's a relocation area like that, because then it's ultra secure, so it's in a building, in a perimeter fence,
inside an enclosure,
yes,
inside the building.
Yes, yes, you're right. In the enclosure, in a greenhouse, inside the perimeter fence, so they're definitely not getting out. So yeah, I mean, that's one idea. But again, guys, comment below and see what you would like to see in there, because I mean, we have 204 feet to work with. So even if we do, you know, one area for spectacled caiman, we can do other areas for what you guys recommend. All right, guys, well, thank you for joining us on week 2 of the updates of the sanctuary.
Yeah, and if you like today's video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and do not forget about the giveaway. One of you guys is gonna be able to come out here. I mean, the giveaway ends the end of January, and we want to get you out here as soon as possible. So you're gonna be able to actually see the construction. Maybe you've got some good input too. Maybe you come here and say something that you want to see in the greenhouse, and it appears. But remember, subscribe to this channel, send it to as many friends as possible. Make sure you're commenting, sharing on Instagram, Facebook. You're subscribing to our or following our Instagram. And what else? Do we have anything else on there? Just make a lot of noise. Let us see you. We've seen a few of you have been making a ton of noise. And so if you keep that up, I mean, you may just come hang out with us for the day. But we'll see you in the next one.
So screw this wood construction update.